Today, I'm going to talk about how to stop procrastination and laziness so that you can remove hindrances to you living beyond limits as a Christian. The first point of my teaching today is to define what procrastination is. Until you really are clear about what procrastination is, you really won't know how to identify it if it is an issue that you're faced with and deal with it. So what is procrastination? Well, procrastination is delaying something that you should do, usually because you don't want to do it. Anytime you procrastinate, the problem with procrastination is that you literally get stuck in a place of inactivity where no progress is made. And you keep talking about doing something, and all you keep doing is talking about something that never happens. And as long as you delay something that should happen today into the future, you will never get great things accomplished in your life. And do you know that there are certain things that you can take a look at in someone's life to indicate how their future will be? Absolutely. A major indication about anyone's future is to observe what they're doing today. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself. I remember about 10 years ago, I had started to pack on layers and layers of weight. And I think at my largest, I got as big as 184 pounds. I don't know how in the world all the weight started piling up, but I knew at my largest, my biggest, I was 184 pounds. I remember always saying, I'll go to the gym sometime. I'll start losing weight sometime. And guess what? One of those times, I even went to the gym and signed up and got a gym membership. Guess what? I never went to the gym. I was paying every month for my gym membership, but I never ever went to the gym. I remember always talking about losing weight. I remember always talking about how I was going to slim up and tone up and get in shape. And I remember I would talk to my family members about losing weight, until one day I heard, I think it was my son and my daughter, or maybe my sister, say, you keep talking about losing weight. When are you just going to just get up and do something about it? That question from either my sister or one of my children, as much as I didn't enjoy being held accountable to my lack of activity, as it relate to my workout, it helped me confront the truth about my health. I knew at some level that I was not really at my best place physically. I was always huffing and puffing, out of shape, out of breath, and I knew I needed to do something about my physical health. But I kept delaying it to someday, kept delaying it to some time. And the problem with sometime or someday, 1 year became 2 years, 2 years became 3 years, 3 years became 4 years, and then 10 years rolled along. I got as big as 184, out of shape, and I knew something needed to happen. You see, the problem with procrastination is this: you keep deferring important things that should happen today into the future. And the problem about that is that whatever you defer to the future, you never ever get anywhere fast. You see, the problem with procrastination is that you procrastinate and you don't put action to where you need to see change. And guess what? The moment my sister has said to me, when are you going to do something about your health and your weight? Literally, I felt like I was confronted with myself. Because every year I started traveling, going to foreign countries on missions trips, because my missions trips are very, very intense, because I stay very busy in missions trips. I knew if I was going to be at my best physical health, my best physical shape to fulfill my purpose, I would need to be the best physical health. And at that moment, I was confronted with the truth. Was I going to do something about my health so I could be the best version of me, not just so that I could live healthy, but so that I could also fulfill my purpose? The moment I really said enough is enough, I'm going to do something about it, guess what? I came to a quality decision about my weight. And what seemed to be 10, 12, 13 years, in a moment, I made a decision that I was going to do something about it. In less than 3 or 4 months, I lost 44 pounds. I lost 44 pounds, and I really became at my best physical shape and health. Why did it take me almost 12, 13, 14 years to come to a place where I lost 44 pounds. My friend, that's what it means to deal with procrastination. You will never deal with procrastination until you come to a quality decision of wanting to make a change. The Bible says the one who procrastinates and the one who is lazy is a slothful and a sluggard. I'll actually tell you what these two words mean. A person who is a sluggard is a lazy, sleepy, slow-moving person. A sluggard is likely to oversleep and even snooze through class or work. Being a sluggard is a great way to fail, to lose, or to fall behind in anything you desire to see accomplished in your life. The Bible says a person who is a sluggard is lazy, sleepy, and slow-moving. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 24, verses 30 to 34, that a person went past the field of a sluggard, and they saw in this man's field there were thorns. And thorns means when, and you see thorns come up where the grounds of the field are not tended, are not cared for. The grounds had weeds, and weeds, you only see weeds in the field that are not cared for, that are abandoned. So you see in this verse, you can tell a person who procrastinates by how they live. A man who procrastinates is a sluggard, and a sluggard is slothful. A man who procrastinates, you can tell a lot by the way he lives. Let me share a few other Bible verses that say a lot about a man who procrastinates. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 9 to 11, "How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man." And Proverbs chapter 19, verse 24 says, "The sluggard buries his hand in the dish and will not even bring it back up to his mouth." The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4, "The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing." This verse says a man who is slothful, a man who procrastinates, does not do what he should do when he ought to do it. And then when the time comes where he should have the harvest, he will have nothing. You see, this verse says for you to get something, you must be willing to invest what it takes. The Bible says that there's seed time and harvest time. There's a time where you ought to put forth the seed to get what you want. And the Bible says a man who is slothful, a man who procrastinates, he's lazy. This man is so lazy that he won't even put forth the effort for his own benefit. And my second important guidance is how to deal with procrastination. If you are ever going to deal with procrastination, you must have a changed mindset, a renewed mindset. You see, at the start of my teaching, I identified the problem of the one who procrastinates. The one who procrastinates always puts in the future what he ought to do today. If you're going to deal with procrastination, you should never, ever, ever, ever put into the future what you ought to be doing today. And the problem is with the mindset. You see, the moment I dealt with the issue about wanting to lose weight and planning to do it in the future, I would always have an excuse. And you will never deal with procrastination if you don't deal with the root of the problem. I wanted to lose the weight, but I was unwilling to go to the gym. I was unwilling to cut down on excessive eating. But the moment you're willing to deal with procrastination, it's a moment where you're willing to put forth every action to get the results. And the second thing you must be watchful, never make excuses. Never make excuses. Whatever the reason is, never excuse the reason. If you're ever going to deal with procrastination, you must confront excuses.
Here are a couple of key points covered so far. First, procrastination is delaying something that you should do, usually because you don't want to do it. And second, to deal with procrastination, you must set clear goals for what needs to be done. Here's a question for everyone. For those of you who are yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel, I want to invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so every week you can learn how to live beyond limits.
And the third thing you must do to deal with procrastination, you must be committed to action. The reason for laziness is first a mindset and attitude towards work, but it's also lack of activity. See, laziness is first a mindset, an attitude about work, but it's also an attitude that can be seen in action. You can see from the life of a lazy man why he's lazy. When he should be working, he's asleep. When he should be cleaning his room, he's out there doing something else. As long as one has the wrong mindset towards work, they see work as hard, they see what they should be doing as difficult, they will never see the type of change.
And Proverbs chapter 22 verse 13 says, "The lazy man is full of excuses. I can't go to work," he says. "If I go outside, I might meet a lion in the street and be killed."
If you're going to deal with procrastination, you must be committed to doing whatever you need to do to see the progress that you want. I go back to me wanting to lose weight until I was willing to get up and go to the gym, until I was willing to make changes and actually put forth actions in living a healthy lifestyle. I never saw the kind of results in my weight or in my physical health. Whatever you want to see happen, you must be willing to do what it takes for you to see the results. And the fourth thing to do to deal with procrastination, you must check your circle of influence. Birds of the same feather will flock together. And you know, when you make the decision to stop being lazy, guess what? You need to make sure that you have people around you who are hardworking. You know, a man who is lazy can never be a friend of people who are hardworking. And that's why having the right friends will do. Having people around you who live productive lives, what it will begin to do is to challenge you to do better. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, and anytime you want to move forward, you want to make sure that you have people around you to challenge you to do better. And for example, when I started wanting to lose weight to be fit, one thing that helped me was have people around me who were going to the gym, people who were living healthy lifestyles. I was able to get tips and guidance from people who were further along. Anytime you want to see progress in a certain area, it helps to have people around you to be mentors, people who can encourage you to actually make the progress that you're trying to see.
And Ephesians chapter 5 verses 15 to 17 says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is."
This Bible verse says to not live a life that's vague. You know what it means to be vague? Vague means that you're not clear, you're not definite. When you're definite and when you have objectives, what objectives do? Objectives point you in the direction that you're trying to go. And anytime you live lives that don't have clear objectives, you won't really have any direction, and you really won't have anything that propels you towards what you want. If you're going to live a life that's free from procrastination, you must set clear goals about everything, about your finances, about your career, about your relationships. There must be very, very clear things that you're trying to pursue. You know, if you're not clear about what you're trying to accomplish, you'll never know how to get there.
Here are a couple of key points covered so far. First, to deal with procrastination, you must be prepared to take action. And second, to deal with procrastination, you must never tolerate laziness. Here's a question for everyone. If you've learned anything so far in this video, I would love to hear from you. Would you share what you've learned in the comments section below?
So I've given you 4 important guidance about how to deal with procrastination. And my main point in my teaching was to make sure that if you're going to deal with procrastination, you must set very, very clear goals. You must ensure that in every area of your life, you're very definite about what you want, and make sure you have the actions to go after whatever you want. I hope what I've shared tonight has helped you. I hope what I've said tonight will help you deal with procrastination and laziness, but you can live life beyond limits. I want to say thank you for tuning in with me for another awesome episode of Beyond Any Limit. I'll see you next week for another awesome episode. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel.